Hello everyone, good morning dear young minds. Welcome back to biology session. Today our concept mineral nutrition, important chapter from plant physiology. In previous session we have discussed transport in plants, that chapter completed. Next chapter, mineral nutrition. This chapter, from this chapter I am expecting minimum one question and maximum two questions. Minimum one question and maximum two questions for NEET object exam, similarly set exam. Okay, right. Come back to situation. Mineral nutrition. Minerals means nutrients. Plant body require various types of nutrients or minerals for the maintenance of their regular metabolic activities, growth, reproduction, and all other body functions. Okay. If I was scientist Julius von Salch in the year 1860 first performed experiments on soilless culture method. Soilless culture means hydroponics. Hydroponics also called soil-less culture. In general, plants grow on land or in water. Plants which are growing on land pick up all types of nutrients or minerals from soil through their root system. And plants which are living in water pick up all types of nutrients or minerals from surrounding water. But here Julius von Salch performed experiments on hydroponics. Hydroponics also called soilless culture. By doing this experiment, he identified and analyzed, observed what is the importance of elements, what are the types of elements, and how plant pick up elements through their root system, and which are essential elements, which are non-essential elements, and what are macro elements, and which are micro elements or micronutrients. This total information first clearly studied by Julius von Salch in the year 1860. Okay, in NCERT book, one picture, one diagram given regarding hydroponics. All of you observe. Study, that means the structure of hydroponics. Diagram important. Here, without involvement of soil, plant root system pick up all types of nutrients from nutrient solution. Thereby, Julius von Salch first identified which are essential elements and which are non-essential elements, which are macronutrients and which are micronutrients, and how plant pick up different types of nutrients through their root system. Okay. Next, essential mineral elements. Broadly, mineral elements are of how many types? 105 types. 105. Out of which more than 60 elements. More than 60 elements found in various plant species. The total number of elements are 105. Out of 105, more than 60 elements found in different types of plant species. Out of which 30 elements are commonly found in all types of plants like dicot plants and monocot plants. Okay, right? Then some examples of mineral elements: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, iron, sulfur, molybdenum, manganese, magnesium, zinc, cobalt, okay, zinc, cobalt, strontium, etc. These are some examples of essential elements. Okay, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, iron, sulfur, molybdenum, manganese, magnesium, zinc, cobalt, strontium, etc. Out of which some elements or some nutrients required in higher quantity for plant growth and development. Such nutrients are called macronutrients. Macronutrients. Macronutrients, some examples: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, okay, sulfur, etc. Next, some elements or nutrients required in small quantities for plant growth and development. Such nutrients are called micronutrients. Micronutrients. Some examples: iron, molybdenum, manganese, magnesium, zinc, and cobalt, etc. Okay, so macronutrients required in higher quantities by the plant for their natural growth and development, whereas micronutrients that are required by the plant in small quantities, hence they were known as micronutrients. We'll discuss step by step all these things. Okay, first go through nitrogen. Nitrogen or sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, etc. This total data very important, dear students. And some elements are accessory elements like nitrogen, strontium, silicon. These are mostly available in nuclear testing centers. And plants or trees which are growing in nuclear testing surrounding areas. These plants pick up nitrogen, strontium, nickel, silicon, these types of elements. Okay, even those elements also play a crucial role in growth and development, particularly plants which are growing in nuclear testing centers. That's it. First to go through sodium. Sodium, so not sodium, nitrogen. Because sodium is an essential element. Okay, accessory element, not essential, accessory elements. Leave it. Nitrogen, N2. Nitrogen, an important macro element. It is the major component of proteins, nucleic acids such as DNA, RNA. Okay, and it also play a crucial role in some enzymes, some activity of enzymes, etc. Right? Next, nitrogen. Majority of nitrogen available in atmosphere. How much? About 78.084% of nitrogen available in atmosphere. But plants unable to pick up atmospheric nitrogen. Therefore, some other microbes like rhizobium bacteria, different types of bacteria, Rhizobium leguminosarum, Rhizobium racidicola, Azotobacter, Azospirillum, Bigeringia, and some blue-green algae members such as Nostoc, Anabaena, Oscillatoria. These types of microscopic organisms able to fix atmospheric nitrogen in soil in the form of nitrites or ammonia. Then plants pick up nitrogen requirements through their root system. That's all. That is about physiological work of nitrogen. Next to phosphorus. P for phosphorus, another important macro element. Phosphorus also very essential element in nucleic acids, DNA and RNA. Okay, and phosphorus also very important for activity of some enzymes. And lipids particularly. Cell membrane is made up of lipids and proteins. Okay. Lipids are of phospholipids. So phospholipids are mainly made up of phosphorus components. And phosphorus also play a crucial role in formation of cellular material. Okay, nucleic acids, and it also activates some enzymes that are involved in respiration, photolysis, etc. Right? Next to sodium, potassium. Next, potassium ions. Nitrogen available form NO3 minus or NO2 minus or NH3, etc. NO3 minus means nitrates, NO2 minus nitrites, NH3 ammonia. Phosphorus available form PO4 minus or H2PO4 minus. Okay, H2PO4 minus. Potassium ions available form same, K plus ions. Potassium ions play a crucial role in anion-cation balance. Potassium ions also play a crucial role in opening and closing of stomata. Okay, along with the chloride ions and H plus ions, potassium ions also play a crucial role in opening and closing of stomata. That's it. Next to calcium. Another important macro element, calcium. Calcium mainly secreted by Golgi apparatus, Golgi complex. Okay. During cell division, one parent cell breaks down into two daughter cells by forming cell plate. Cell plate is mainly made up of calcium pectate. So this calcium pectate mainly secreted from Golgi complex. Later, cell plate convert into middle lamella. Middle lamella is cementing material between adjacent cells, side by side cells. Okay. Calcium also play a crucial role in water splitting process, photolysis of water. Photolysis of water. That means what? In presence of sunlight, water split into protons, electrons and oxygen. In presence of sunlight, water molecule split into protons, electrons and oxygen. Oxygen liberate into surroundings. Electrons enter electron transport chain like light reaction, PS, that means non-cyclic photophosphorylation, okay, etc. or jet scheme of electron transport system, etc. So calcium ions play a crucial role. Not only calcium, even manganese ion also. Manganese and chloride ions. Calcium ions, manganese ions and chloride ion also play a crucial role in splitting of water into protons, electrons and oxygen. Calcium is a structural element in plant cells. It won't remobilize from cell to outside. Hence it is also called the major structural element. It is strictly fixed in cells. It is not remobilized. These are the main important physiological role of calcium. Next to magnesium, Mg2 plus. So magnesium available form is Mg2 plus. Another important macro element. Magnesium activates several enzymes that are actively participate in respiration and photons experiments. Both respiration and photosynthesis experiments. Okay. An example, Rubisco enzyme. PEP, etc. Pepcase. Rubisco stands for ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase oxidase. Pepcase, full form phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase. Okay. Rubisco enzyme, it is a major protein in entire biosphere. It is quite common in all plants, dicot plants, monocot plants, that means C3 plants, C4 plants, all types of plants. Pepcase enzyme, it is common in C4 plants, that means grass plants. Magnesium ions activates several enzymes that are directly involved in respiration chemical reactions and photosynthesis chemical reactions. Magnesium also a structural element, that means not structural, a central element in chlorophyll pigment. Okay, you know well what is chemical structure of chlorophyll A pigment. Okay, chlorophyll A has two parts, head and tail. In head part, center element is magnesium ions. So magnesium ions also very essential for synthesis of chlorophyll A particularly. That's all. Okay. Next, sulfur. Another important macro element, that is sulfur. Available form SO4 minus. Sulfur, according to recent researchers, sulfur also one of the important macro element, right? It is available in protein coat. It is important structure, important part in amino acids and proteins. Okay. Sulfur essential for maintenance of several regular metabolic activities. Like calcium, sulfur also structural element. It is not remobilized from tissues or cells. That's all. That is about nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium and sulfur. These are the 6 important macronutrients. Next to go through micronutrients. Micronutrients. Some nutrients are required by the plant in small quantities are called micronutrients. Micronutrients. So nowadays technology was well developed. So due to development in technology, we are able to detect the concentration of minerals or nutrients even at lower concentration, even at lower level. How much? 10 to the power of minus 2 milligrams per liter. 10 to the power of minus 2 milligrams per liter. Okay, understood now? Due to development of technology, we are able to identify and detect even the concentration of nutrients at lower level. Approximately 10 to the power of minus 2 milligram per liter minus 1. Liter minus 1. Okay, micronutrients. Some examples: iron. Iron available form Fe2 plus or Fe3 plus. Fe2 plus or Fe3 plus. Fe2 plus ferrous, Fe3 plus ferric ions. Mostly plant root system pick up iron in the form of Fe2 plus or Fe3 plus. Iron essential for chlorophyll synthesis. Okay. Iron also structural element in some phytohormone, in some electron carriers like cytochrome, pyridoxine, etc. Iron present in some electron carriers such as cytochrome and pyridoxine. Very important for object exam. In plant tissues, Fe2 plus convert into Fe3 plus. Fe2 plus means ferrous convert into ferric ions. Okay. Next, another important micronutrient, zinc. Zinc available form is Zn2 plus. Zn2 plus. Zinc, one of the micronutrients. Zinc activates some enzymes. Example, alcohol dehydrogenase. Alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme. Okay. Carboxylase enzyme. Etc. Zinc, very important micronutrient. It activates some enzyme activity, particularly alcohol dehydrogenase and carboxylase. Very important for object exam. You have to by heart it. Don't forget. Next to molybdenum. Molybdenum available form MoO2 plus. MoO2 plus. Okay. So molybdenum also one of the micronutrient. It activates an enzyme called nitrogenase enzyme. Nitrogenase enzyme, very important. Nitrogenase enzyme play a crucial role in nitrogen cycle or nitrogen metabolism. Understood now? That's it. Next to manganese, Mn. Manganese available form Mn2 plus. Mn2 plus. Like magnesium, manganese also activates several enzymes that are involved in directly respiration reactions and photosynthesis reactions. Understood now, dear young mates? Okay. Next to yes. So iron, zinc, molybdenum, manganese, and cobalt. Another important micronutrient is cobalt. Cobalt also essential for plant growth and development, but plant pick up very limited quantities of cobalt. Okay, right? It is essential for the activation of some enzymes that are involved in nitrogen cycle, respiration, and also photosynthesis. Right? Understood now? So remember all important all important micronutrients, NCERT book concepts, their physiological role, very important. Next, what is the criteria for essentiality of elements? Criteria. Criteria for essentiality of elements. Criteria for essentiality of elements. There are some criteria. See, it should be essential for growth and development of the plant, and no other element replace one particular element action. Suppose an example, magnesium. Magnesium is essential for synthesis of chlorophyll pigment. Okay, magnesium also activates some enzymes that are directly involved in respiration and photosynthesis chemical reactions, and no other element replaces the activity of magnesium ions, the function of magnesium ions. Okay, being an element, it directly involved in metabolic activities. These are some criteria of essentiality of elements. So no other element replaces the activity of one particular element. In such a way, one particular element directly involved in metabolic activities of plant. That's it. The next concept, deficiency symptoms. Deficiency symptoms or deficiency diseases. Deficiency diseases. Some examples: chlorosis, necrosis, okay, cell division, inactivation of cell division, inactivation of cell division, etc. Stunted plant growth, stunted plant growth, etc. Chlorosis. These are all some deficiency diseases due to deficiency of microelements or macroelements. Some diseases directly occurs in plant, in various parts of the plant. Here I written some examples: chlorosis, necrosis, inactivation of cell division or inhibition of cell division, and stunted plant growth. First one, chlorosis. Chlorosis means death of the chlorophyll tissue in a plant, that is called chlorosis. It is mainly caused due to the deficiency of nitrogen, magnesium, manganese, molybdenum, okay, potassium and calcium. etc. This necrosis. Necrosis means death of the tissue is called necrosis. Death of the tissue is called necrosis. Necrosis occur due to the deficiency of some elements like magnesium, manganese, sulfur, okay, sulfur and potassium, etc. etc. You have to by heart all what are the elements deficiency leads to chlorosis, necrosis and inhibition or inactivation of cell division. That's very important. You must by heart it, don't forget. Inactivation or inhibition of cell division takes place due to the deficiency of some elements like manganese, molybdenum, nitrogen, okay, nitrogen and potassium, etc. Stunted plant growth, that means limited plant growth, dwarf plant. So plant unable to grow over several meters height due to deficiency of some elements. That is called stunted plant growth. Example: iron, manganese, molybdenum, okay, and calcium, etc. So due to deficiency of iron, manganese, molybdenum and calcium, plant unable to show proper and natural growth and development. Clear? Remember deficiency diseases and the deficiency elements, important for objective exam. Clear? Next to critical concentration. What is critical concentration? The concentration of elements below which critical concentration means the concentration of elements below which plant growth is retarded. That is called critical concentration. That means what? Deficiency of some elements like calcium, manganese, magnesium, sodium, potassium. These elements deficiency that leads to critical concentration. Due to their deficiency, plant shows proper symptoms, specific symptoms in stems or branch, leaf, fruit, flower, etc. That's why critical concentration defined as the concentration of elements below which plant growth is retarded is called critical concentration. Very important for objective exam. Understood now? Next to mechanism of absorption of elements. Mechanism of absorption of elements. As all of you know, root system, all plants pick up all types of nutrients through their root system. Transport are of two kinds: active process and passive process. Active process and a passive process. Some nutrients pick up by the root by active process and some nutrients pick up by the root, absorbed by the root by passive process. So absorption of elements is both the active process and passive process. Direct NCERT book statement, NCERT book lines. Understood now? Don't confuse. Absorption of elements by the plant root system, that is both the active process and passive process. Active process require metabolic energy in the form of ATP, whereas passive process does not require energy in the form of ATP. That's it. That is about a mechanism of absorption of essential elements. Suppose several elements: nitrogen, calcium, potassium, magnesium, iron, manganese, all types of nutrients or elements available in soil, because soil is the major source of elements. Therefore, some elements absorbed by the plant by active process and some elements absorbed by the plant by passive process. First, root hair. Root hair pick up elements. Root hair to lateral root to main root to stem to all other plant parts. And some elements directly absorbed by region of elongation. From there to main root. That means base of the stem to branches, finally all parts of the plant. That's it. So some elements directly absorbed by the root hair and some elements directly absorbed by elongation region. That's it. That is called mechanism of absorption of elements. Okay. Next to metabolism. Metabolism of nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen cycle. Just now I said that nitrogen essential for plant growth and development. Even farmers apply NPK fertilizers, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium fertilizers. So when we apply proper proportion of nitrogen, plant develop new branches and new leaves. Next, potassium. Being a farmer, when we supply proper proportion of potassium, then plant pick up immunity power against diseases, bacterial, viral, fungal diseases. Next, phosphorus. Being a farmer, when we supply proper proportion of phosphorus, then plant develop their root system into the deepest layers of soil. That's it. That is the importance of NPK fertilizers. Therefore, NPK also called major fertilizers or macro fertilizers. Nitrogen fixation very important. Just now I said that nitrogen, it is a gaseous element available in atmosphere, and a plant unable to pick up atmospheric nitrogen, but some microbes like some bacteria members, some blue-green algae members able to fix atmospheric nitrogen in soil in the form of nitrates, nitrites or ammonia. Roughly go through one's nitrogen cycle. Atmospheric nitrogen. I wrote short form, try to understand. Biological nitrogen fixation. Short form. Next, industrial nitrogen fixation. Next, electrical nitrogen fixation. I wrote short form, NCERT book flow chart, try to understand the concept. Atmospheric nitrogen fix in soil in different ways. Biological nitrogen fixation, industrial nitrogen fixation, electrical nitrogen fixation. Clear? And it is soil cool. soil nitrogen pool. Okay, biological nitrogen fixation, it fix atmospheric nitrogen in the form of NH3. Then NH3 convert into NO2 minus, means nitrite. The nitrites turn into NO3 minus, nitrates, NO2 minus, nitrites, NO3 minus, nitrates. Electrical nitrogen fixation directly fix atmospheric nitrogen in the form of nitrates. But biological nitrogen fixation and industrial nitrogen fixation fix atmospheric nitrogen in soil directly in the form of ammonia. Ammonia to nitrates, then nitrites. But electrical nitrogen fixation fix atmospheric nitrogen in soil directly in the form of nitrates. That's all. Next, plant pickup, uptake. Plant biomass, and from there to animal biomass, and from there to decompose, dead plant parts and dead animal parts decompose by decomposers. Then ammonification to ammonia. Denitrification, see, this is rough diagram of nitrogen cycle. About 78.084%, 78.084% of nitrogen available in atmosphere. And first, biological nitrogen fixation, it include by bacteria or blue-green algae. Okay. Next, industrial nitrogen fixation. Industrial, that is from industries, factories, several thousand tons of wastage directly emerge into atmosphere, and these wastages mixed with the clouds during rainy season along with the rainy water, and a small amount of nitrogen also reaches to soil. That is called industrial nitrogen fixation. Electric nitrogen fixation means thunders or storms during rainy season. Because of heavy rains, sometimes suddenly thunders and storms created. Through thunders and storms, some amount of atmospheric nitrogen directly fixed in soil in the form of nitrates. But biological nitrogen fixation and industrial nitrogen fixation fix atmospheric nitrogen directly in the form of ammonia. Next, ammonia convert into nitrates in the presence of Nitrosomonas, a bacteria. Nitrosomonas and a Nitrococcus. In the presence of two types of bacteria, namely Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus, ammonia convert into nitrite. Next, in the presence of another bacteria called Nitrobacter. In the presence of Nitrobacter, nitrite convert into nitrate. That's it. Next, plant biomass. So plants, all plants pick up nitrogen requirements in the form of nitrates. That is called uptake of nitrates. After death of the plants, dead plant pods directly fall on soil, decompose by decomposers. Next, some amount of nitrogen transfer from plant biomass to animal biomass through food chain. After death of the animal body, dead animal pods also directly mixed with the soil, then decomposed by decomposers. That's all. Then ammonifying bacteria. Ammonifying bacteria, example, Bacillus. Bacillus is one of the best examples of ammonifying bacteria. Here what happened? Nitrates. These nitrates again convert into ammonia in presence of ammonifying bacteria, that is called Bacillus bacteria. Bacillus bacteria. Okay, it is a cyclic process. Next, some amount of nitrates convert into nitrogen. How? I show here. Observe carefully. NO3 minus turn into NO2 minus. Next, 2NO. Next, N2O. Then nitrogen. Steps very important. See, some amount of nitrates discharge into atmosphere. How? By denitrification. Denitrification include nitrates. Nitrates turn into nitrites. Next, dinitrogen oxide. Nitrogen oxide. Then dinitrogen oxide. Then molecular nitrogen. Molecular nitrogen directly discharge into atmosphere. That is called denitrification. It occurs in presence of denitrifying bacteria. Okay, understood now? Denitrifying bacteria. Example, Thiobacillus denitrificans. Thiobacillus denitrificans, one of the best examples of denitrifying bacteria. That's all. This is nitrogen cycle. Total nitrogen cycle include 5 steps: nitrogen fixation, nitrification, ammonification. Okay. First nitrogen fixation, then nitrogen assimilation, ammonification, nitrification, denitrification. These 5 steps important. Don't forget. That's all. And the last concept, biological nitrogen fixation. Very last concept, biological nitrogen fixation. The NCERT book clearly mentioned biological nitrogen fixation, formation of root nodule. The steps important. Very, very important. Formation of root nodule. Formation of root nodule. In NCERT books, simple diagrams given. You have to observe carefully steps in formation of root nodule. First, epidermal cells. Next, cortex. Next, endodermis. Then pericycle. Some epidermal cells develop root hair. Soil particles. Soil contain bacteria. Which bacteria? Bacillus, not Bacillus, Rhizobium bacteria. Bacteria broadly are of 2 kinds: free living bacteria, symbiotic bacteria. Free living bacteria living in soil between soil particles. Free living bacteria fix atmospheric nitrogen directly in the soil without association with root system. But symbiotic bacteria make a direct connection with root system, enter into root nodule, living inside the root nodule, fix atmospheric nitrogen. Free living bacteria, example, Azotobacter, Azospirillum, Bigeringia, etc. And symbiotic bacteria, example, Rhizobium, Rhizobium leguminosarum. That's it. See, just steps, changes in steps, simple changes in steps. Bacteria attracted towards root tip and Golgi complex vacuoles together form infection thread. Infection thread. First tip of root hair release some sugars. Therefore, bacteria attracted by sugars. Bacteria move towards root hair, react with root hair, infect root hair. Therefore, root hair curl at their tip. Root hair curl at their tip. Then some cortical cells and endodermal cells, their Golgi complex and vacuoles create infection thread. It is infection thread. Okay. Through infection thread, bacteria enter into root hair to epidermis, epidermis to cortex, cortex to endodermis, endodermis to pericycle, endodermis to pericycle. Then pericycle cells and cortex cells together form root nodule. Together forms root nodule. It is mature root nodule. Matured root nodule. Bacteria living within the root nodule. Here an enzyme, namely nitrogenase enzyme, play a crucial role in nitrogen fixation process. Nitrogenase enzyme. Nitrogenase enzyme always active in absence of oxygen. And who maintain absence of oxygen in root nodules means one of the pigment that is called leg hemoglobin. Very important. Leg hemoglobin. It's one of the red color pigment. It shows sensitivity to oxygen. So it almost release oxygen from root nodules. It creates anaerobic conditions. In absence of oxygen, nitrogenase enzyme active and fix atmospheric nitrogen in soil in the form of nitrates or ammonia. Okay, in such a way, nitrogenase enzyme play a crucial role in nitrogen fixation. That's it. The steps important. Formation of root nodule steps very important. And very last concept, mechanism of enzyme activity. Mechanism of nitrogenase enzyme activity. In NCERT book, one mechanism clearly mentioned. This is nitrogenase enzyme. Atmospheric nitrogen mixed with the enzyme, then reduction takes place. Reduction means addition of hydrogens. First step. Again reduction takes place. Second time also reduction takes place. So one hydrogen binds with each nitrogen. Second time what happened? Again reduction takes place now. Therefore hydrogens. How many hydrogens? Two hydrogens binds with each nitrogen. 2 plus 2. Again, reduction takes place. Third time. Then what happened? Hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. 1, 2, 3. Hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. 1, 2, 3. See, first reduction, second reduction, third reduction. Reduction in the sense addition of hydrogens. First molecular dinitrogen attached with the nitrogenase enzyme at active site. Active site means the area where substrate bind with enzyme is called active site. First reduction, 2 hydrogens added. Second reduction, again 2 hydrogens added. Third reduction, again 2 added. Finally, each nitrogen bind with 3 hydrogens. So 3 plus 3. Next what happened? Enzyme synthesize two molecules of ammonia. See, 2 molecules of ammonia. Okay, so in presence of enzyme, nitrogen bind with hydrogen to form NH3, 2 molecules of ammonia. Then it is empty enzyme. Empty enzyme again join with molecular nitrogen and repeat the same process. In such a way, nitrogenase enzyme fix atmospheric molecular nitrogen, and due to reduction process, nitrogen convert into ammonia. In such a way, a bulk amount of ammonia fix in soil, then plant root system pick up ammonia for the maintenance of regular metabolic activities. That's all. These are the main concepts covered from mineral nutrition. And last, just 1 minute, last concept, fate of ammonia. Actually, due to continuous accumulation of ammonia or ammonium ions, it is toxic to plants. Therefore, ammonium ions immediately convert into amino acids. The process of conversion of ammonium ions into amino acids, it includes 2 steps. But the first step, reductive amination. Second step, transamination. Reductive amination, transamination, important. Reductive amination and transamination. Last concept, just 1 minute time. Reductive amination. That means what? Ketoglutaric acid. Ketoglutaric acid bind with ammonium ions plus NADPH. It convert into glutaric acid, plus NADP plus. That is called reductive amination. Second step, transamination. HCOH NH3 NH2 or NH3 plus R2 C double bond O COO minus. Here amino group and hydrogen transfer to ketone group. Okay. These two transfer to R2 and it is transferred to R1. Vice versa. Then what happened? R1 C double bond O COO minus plus R2 CH NH3 plus COOH. This is called aspartate. Aspartate, very important. Fate of ammonia topic also very important. It includes 2 steps. What is the meaning of fate of ammonia? Means excess amount of amino groups or excess amount of ammonia ions convert into amino acids. It includes 2 steps: reductive amination, transamination. First reductive amination. Here what happened? Alpha ketoglutaric acid bind with the ammonium ions and NADPH. Here NADPH is hydrogen donor. It end products glutaric acid and NADP plus. Next, transamination. Glutaric acid enter into transamination, synthesize another amino acids. Example, aspartic acid. R1 one amino acid. R2 it is donor. This is donor. It is receiver, recipient. End products aspartate. That's it. Therefore, there are 2 major amides: aspartate, aspargine and glutamine. Aspargine obtained from aspartic acid, glutamine obtained from glutamic acid respectively. Even amides are higher, that means amides contain higher concentration of nitrogen than to that of amino acids. Therefore, some plants, example soybean plant release excess amount of nitrogen through transpiration stream into surroundings through stomata. Thereby, soybean plant maintain proper concentration of nitrogen. That's all. These are the almost main points covered from mineral nutrition. I am expecting minimum 1 question and maximum 2 questions from this chapter. Prepare well. Thank you very much. See you. Have a nice day.